First, think of the person who lives in disguise, who deals in secrets and tells naught but lies. Next, tell me what's always the last thing to mend, the middle of middle and end of the end? And finally, give me the sound often heard during the search for a hard-to-find word. Now string them together and answer me this. Which creature would you be unwilling to kiss?
When we talk about spiders, what's the first adjective coming off the top of your head? Scary, toxic, or lethal? Naturally, it is said that about 3 to 15% of people all over the world have arachnophobia, that is, the fear of spiders. I too dread this kind of creature. The scene where the giant spider shield captured the hobbit Frodo in The Lord of the Rings was one of my most memorable childhood nightmares. Well, some people may think differently, like Harry Potter's friend Rubius Hagrid.
Seriously misunderstood creatures spiders are.
Or some Marvel fans who are fond of the web-shooting superhero. Now, let's look beyond the Western culture and turn our attention to Wukong's journey to the West. In chapters 72 to 73 of the novel, the Monkey King, along with his companions and allies, rescued his mentor from 7 spider demons. The chapters begin with the Tang Monk and his disciples, Wukong, Baji, and Wujing, traveling through a beautiful landscape. Seeing a mansion nearby, the Tang Monk, following his Buddhist practice, insisted on begging for food himself. Upon entering the house, he was greeted by 7 beautiful women. They appeared gracious and hospitable, offering him food. Well, the scary thing is here. The Tang Monk soon realized that the food was actually made of human flesh. Scared, he tried to run away, but was captured easily by the 7 female demons. Knowing his mentor was in trouble, Wukong transformed into a little fly and sneaked into the demon's lair. He saw the 7 women taking off their clothes for bath. Well, I'm afraid this is the most erotic part of the entire novel. The author wrote that,
silvery white were their creamy breasts, snowy their bodies that looked like jade. Soft and supple the skin on their stomachs, they showed a glimpse of the cave of pleasure.
However, our righteous Monkey King didn't show any sexual interest in the 7 women, but he was always mischievous. He stole the women's clothes and returned to his companions. Well, we can say to some extent Wukong is a saint, but not all of his companions are like him. For example, my old pal Baji, as you already know, is notorious for being lecturous. How could he miss such an opportunity? He went into the pool when the 7 women bathed, transformed into a catfish, and swam around their crouches. Alright, I don't think we want to go further with the details. Of course, the 7 demons were not as soft as they looked. They shot spider webs from their belly buttons and escaped. Baji tried to chase them, but he stepped on the spider webs, repeatedly stumbled and fell. Wukong and Wujing met the tottering Baji. They went into the deserted cave together and freed their mentor. But the 7 spider demons had no intention to let them go easily. To devise revenge, they got help from their friend, the 100-eyed Taoist master. When the pilgrims visited his monastery en route, the Taoist poisoned the team. In anger, Wukong killed the 7 spiders with his Pluck of Many spell, but the Taoist took off his robe, revealed hundreds of eyes under his ribs, and shot radiant golden beams, from which the Monkey King narrowly escaped. In the end of the chapter, Wukong gained help from Bodhisattva Belamba, who subdued the centipede demon Taoist with her weaver's needle. Well, when telling the story, I cited some relatively explicit sentences from the novel. Of course, this video doesn't mean to be PG-rated, but you could see from it the characteristics of spider demons in Chinese mythology. Sexually attractive, cunning, bloodlust, and vindictive. And those traits can also be found in legends regarding spiders originated in the countries under the influence of Chinese culture. The most famous example is Jorogumo, one of the iconic Acriid yokai or demon in Japanese folklores. According to the most well-known version of the story, when Jora spiders turn 400 years old, they will develop transformation skills and become fearsome monsters. It was said there was a young samurai sleeping at home. Suddenly, an old woman visited him, saying that she was his neighbor, and her daughter had a crush on him. The man was invited to the old lady's home. The young girl was indeed beautiful as her mother said, and she confessed her love to him. The man politely declined, since he was already married. But the girl had no intention of letting him go. He was forced to draw his sword and fight his way back. The next day, the samurai searched the forest near his house, and he found 2 giant spiders that, one was smaller than the other, along with many skeletons of people, whom the spiders devoured. In another legend spread in Izu, a man dated a beautiful young lady he met at the waterfall, but he soon fell sick and sought treatment in the local temple. The priest told him that it was actually his girlfriend who bewitched him, because she was a spider demon. But the man was so deep in love, he still ran towards the waterfall, was dragged into the water by the spider webs, and he was never seen again. Well, you can see, in both Chinese and Japanese folklores, spider demons are generally perceived as beautiful women. It's possibly because of the construction of the spider webs, which resembles a self-weaving that was dominant by women historically. And the femme fatale feature associated with spider demons was inspired by their beautiful colors, their venom, and most importantly, their cannibalistic behavior. It is a common practice for a female spider to eat her partners after mating and reproduction. But as time passes, people with sentimental hearts and unconventional views also create many stories to redeem the reputation of the spiders in popular culture. For example, in the variation of the story about Jora Gumo in the waterfall, the Jora Gumo was worshipped as a goddess who uses spider webs to save people from drowning, instead of a demon who drowns people. Well, after all, to spiders, there's no good or evil. As Richard Dawkins mentioned in his book The Selfish Gene, they eat their mates only to gain enough energy so they can keep their genes surviving. But the humans want much more than that. Wealth, power, reputation. These things drive them crazy, make them scheming and malicious. And they end up pinning the reflection of their wicked souls on spiders. How absurd. Okay, hope you enjoyed the stories I told today about those spider demons. If so, please subscribe to this Little Piggy's channel and give me a like. Your support keeps me going. See you next time!